Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be talking about more updates on what teams were shut down in the Microsoft layoffs. In the 9,000 people that were laid off in Microsoft, it turns out one of them was Blizzard as well. We're going to go deeper into that though. This is going to be on PC Gamer. It's written by Andy Chalk. Thank you for the article. It'll be linked down in the description if you'd like to check it out for yourself. The title goes, Blizzard ends new content development for Warcraft Rumble and lays off staff. Former employee says most of the team has been let go. Warcraft Rumble will continue to operate with in-game events and bug fixes, but further development is over. Now, honestly, I am extremely surprised that Warcraft Rumble that's the part that Blizzard is, or Microsoft is cutting, because you would think mobile games is something that the Blizzard wants, or Microsoft wants, or both of them want probably, but maybe it's just there wasn't a huge player base. I honestly thought Warcraft Rumble was doing fine from what I could tell, but maybe it just wasn't as popular as they wanted it to be, and it wasn't as fast as a success that it needed to be. But you would think the mobile games would be kind of somewhat safe, because they're kind of more easier to convince the higher ups that they're going to make money because of how much microtransactions and like the history of mobile games and whales and stuff like that. So like you would think that'd be easier to sell to the higher ups in Microsoft. Just before we get deeper into the article, I'd like to remind everyone, please subscribe to the channel. 95% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed to the channel, so I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. And also remember to like the video if you like it, and dislike it if you dislike it. I completely understand. Less than a year after making its debut on PC, the real-time strategy game Warcraft Rumble has reached the end of the line. Blizzard announced today that it's made the extremely hard decision to end new content releases for the game. Although it's promised that updates focused on regular systematic in-game events and bug fixes will continue. Which, once again, I'm very surprised that this happened to a mobile game, because you would think other games would be getting the axe sooner. But then again, when it comes to Blizzard, what else do you really axe? Because like the whole StarCraft franchise is on life support. Diablo 4 is doing fine. Overwatch 2 is sort of in a renaissance right now, where it's starting to become like the 2 is starting to become real. World of Warcraft is being World of Warcraft. Warcraft 3 is kind of coming back slightly, with Reforged slowly being fixed. So like I guess what else do you really cut? Like you can't, I don't think you can even cut Heroes of the Storm even more, because there's basically no one working on that game. It's similar to StarCraft. Hearthstone is still doing very well. So I guess Warcraft Rumble really is the only thing that you can really cut more, now that I think about it out loud. Warcraft Rumble began development 9 years ago, as a love letter to Azeroth, and launched back in 2023, reflecting input from enthusiastic players around the globe and effort of a passionate team whom continue to support Rumble and other Blizzard games, and some we've have to sadly part ways with, Blizzard wrote. It's crazy to me that it's been in development for 9 years. Holy cow. Since launch, Rumble has struggled to find its footing relative to our ambition for its long-term success. For some time now, the team has been listening to player feedback, refocusing in certain areas, and exploring different options. Some of that work showed signs of progress, but ultimately wasn't enough to put the game on the path to sustainability. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I played at the very beginning of Warcraft Rumble, and the phone I have it's just not new enough, and it was really laggy, so I stopped playing. And I'm just not interested in playing that type of game on PC, so I didn't get it when it launched on PC. And the mobile market is a very competitive market, and it's just filled with gacha games now, and anime gacha games, and it's hard to beat those. Like, how are you going to beat Genshin? Basically, how are you going to beat any of the the Hoyoverse games, as well as the other ones as well? So it's a pretty tough market, and especially now that with King Digital with them, so like when you own Candy Crush, do you really need a Warcraft Rumble? Probably not. Warcraft Rumble caused a bit of a stir when it was announced in 2023 as Blizzard's first new RTS in years. Warcraft is possibly the most famous and influential RTS of all time, after all, but excitement was muted by the fact that it was a free-to-play mobile game. Yeah, I remember that. That was pretty rough. It was a bad marketing strategy, honestly. Similar to the marketing of Diablo Immortals, they kind of just forgot who they're marketing to. It came to PC a year later in December 2024 as also free-to-play exclusively on battle.net. Blizzard hasn't publicly shared numbers, and the game's absence from Steam makes it pretty much impossible to tell how Warcraft Rumble is performing on PC, but given this outcome, it's fair to say it's not Blizzard's next big thing. Yeah, it did seem like it kind of didn't make even a small splash in the pond of mobile games, which is one of the big problems of mobile games. Like it's even bigger problem because like where do you even market to mobile game players? Because the vast majority of people who play mobile games isn't core gaming audience. Like I do feel like the majority of people who play mobile games aren't the core gaming audience. So like where do you advertise and how do you get people to know that it exists other than being so popular like the Hoyoverse games or any of the other anime gacha games? Like how do you advertise to people like that? And yes, the end of the new content development of Warcraft Rumble means layoffs at Blizzard, part of the wider cut of the 9,000 employees Microsoft announced earlier today. While the number of Blizzard employees been put out of work hasn't been announced, LinkedIn messages posted on multiple former Warcraft Rumble developers make it sound like cuts run deep. Senior software engineer A.J. David wrote that most of the Warcraft Rumble team was laid off, while 3D character artist Angelo B said the layoffs impacted his entire team. Yeah, along with the layoffs, Microsoft also canceled the Rare project, unannounced MMO. Yeah, we know about this stuff. So this kind of just sucks. It's too bad that these guys were laid off, because when I did play it, it wasn't like it was a bad game. It just wasn't the right game for what a lot of people want from Blizzard. Like if it was a game using Blizzard's IP from another company, I think people would have been more okay with it. The problem is that it was being made by Blizzard. Like if another company was making a game with Blizzard's IP and it was a mobile game, I don't think people would care that much, honestly. Like in terms of negativity. But because Blizzard said it was their first RTS that they've made since like basically StarCraft 2, it's like, oh god. And it's a free-to-play mobile game, like no one, the main Blizzard audience is immediately put off, I would say, which wasn't going to help it, because in the mobile games industry, it feels like you need a small surge of players in order for other people to notice. And if the people you're going for, which is the Blizzard audience, doesn't care, then how on earth are you going to get momentum? And they obviously couldn't get momentum, which is really unfortunate. And it does seem like most of the team was laid off. It wouldn't surprise me, because we do now know that one of the reasons Microsoft is doing these deep cuts is because they're potentially putting like $80 billion into AI, which sounds insane to me because I don't understand how you're going to get that $80 billion back. So that's one of the reasons why they're doing such harsh cuts, to free up capital to be able to put money into AI, which I don't really understand, because I don't understand how you're going to get that $80 billion back if they really are doing that much. But to be fair, I don't think Warcraft Rumble was going to be here much longer, even if it wasn't for the potential AI investments that Microsoft wants to do. So it's really hard to say, because let's be honest, Warcraft Rumble wasn't meant for this world, it seems like, and not a lot of people were playing it. And when you're a free-to-play mobile game, there's no way you're gonna be able to sustain that off of like a couple hundred players or a couple thousand players. You need tens of thousands of players at least, with a couple of whales, and the more players you get, the better chances you can have a whale. So it seems like it wasn't right for this world. It really sucks for those people. I hope they can bounce back and get different jobs. But from what I can tell, this is going to be the last little bit of news from the Microsoft 9,000 layoffs for now. To be fair, in order to get $80 billion in capital for AI, I think 9,000 is, I think, just the beginning, unfortunately, because that doesn't equal. And I don't know where else Microsoft is getting the money, unless they're getting more venture capital or something like that. But I don't know where they'd find even more money other than firing people, so they can not have to pay as much people, so they can put that money elsewhere. But we're just gonna have to see. Thank you everyone for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel. 95% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed, so I really appreciate it if you do subscribe. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you dislike it. I understand. You just heard my opinion. I would love to hear your opinion down in the comments below. If you'd like to follow me on other platforms, I have a Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads, all at the Techno Jelly. Thank you everyone for watching today's video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.